In this video, let's talk about remote work scams that you should watch out for and how to spot red flags before it's too late. Scammers are looking for new ways to take advantage of job seekers looking for online jobs, like you. But if you are experienced enough, you will most probably spot these common scams. But if you're a newbie or a beginner, then these are some things you should watch out for. Red flag number one is they ask you to pay before you get paid. Any job that requires you to pay for a premium task, an onboarding fee, or training fee, it's a scam. Any legitimate remote job will never ask you for a payment before hiring, during, or even hiring you. Some of them will even require upfront payments for things like premium tasks or training fees, software access or equipment, and background checks or processing fees. Here's a real example that I've seen floating around in our community. I was offered 25 to 50 pesos per YouTube subscription. After completing the free tasks, they ask for a 2,000 peso deposit to unlock VIP tasks. This is a classic scam pattern. Remember that real employers invest in you. They will never ask you for any payment, may it be upfront or after the hiring period. Red flag number two, you're contacted outside the platform. May it be Telegram, WhatsApp, Viber, or maybe Facebook Messenger without applying. If you never applied for any of these jobs and they just messaged you out of the blue, high chance that it's a scam. So remember that legitimate clients will communicate through official platforms first. They will also have verified payment methods, and they follow proper hiring protocols. Here are some scammer tactics. Hi, I saw your profile on Upwork. Please message this Telegram contact. There are also WhatsApp or Viber messages coming from unknown numbers and emails claiming to be from job platforms. Always verify through the original or legitimate platform before engaging. Now, here's an important thing to note. A lot of these messages may seem no-brainer or it's simple. Most of the time, we think that way when we're not in the heat of the situation. But when you're vulnerable and you really badly want to get a job, or you're in a situation wherein you're not in your proper mindset, you can easily get trapped into this situation wherein you're falling into a scam and you don't even know it yet, which is why it's important that we remind ourselves of these things before it's too late. I'd also like to point out that not everyone who contacts you via Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, or Viber are scammers. There are a lot of legitimate employers or clients looking for roles or talent outside job sites or platforms. What we're actually pointing out here is that if you're on Upwork, keep the communication inside Upwork. If you're on onlinejobs.ph, keep the communication inside that platform. On JobStreet, usually you will post your resume and then you will have your email address over there. And the recruiter may just send you an email directly to ask you about your resume or to ask about your work experience. So essentially, the recruiter is going outside JobStreet as a platform, but it's still legitimate. So then again, that's why it becomes tricky, because you have to be careful and be mindful, be vigilant about who you're talking with, because it's not all the time that it is a scammer. It can also be legitimate, but sometimes it does sound legitimate, but it is a scam. So again, be careful out there. Red flag number three, the job sounds too good to be true. Maybe you're being promised a huge daily income, or maybe free MacBook, free computer when you get hired, even if you don't have any experience. I'm not saying that free MacBook is not legitimate, because there are a lot of clients who are sending free computers, free MacBook, but that's once you're already verified as their employee or part of their team. If they want to deliver your MacBook to your doorstep, then that's legitimate because you've already been hired. But as early as hiring process, if this is something that is promised to you and then the job role sounds sketchy or shady, and then the salary is too big for an entry-level role, then you should be skeptical. We're also not saying that you reject this job application right away. We're saying that you do your due diligence. If this is something that's shady for you, then again, do your research and see if this company is really legitimate. Red flag number 4 is the job listing has poor grammar and weird formatting. Emails or ads in all caps with emojis and broken English are usually red flags. We know that there can be mistakes in job postings, but those that are formatted in a weird way are like automatically hard pass for me. You will know that because the email or the job ad doesn't sound like it's posted by a professional recruiter or hiring manager. The next red flag is a personal account and identity scam. So it goes this way. They want to use your personal Facebook, Instagram, or PayPal. Now remember, never allow anyone to use any of your personal identifying information, such as your Facebook or your Instagram, for possible fake listings that you probably do not know yet when you're starting to engage in this conversation. PayPal, never ever have someone use it for processing payments or for any matter, actually. Upwork account, because it violates the terms of service, like you are misrepresenting yourself or someone is misrepresenting himself or herself. Bank accounts or digital wallets, of course. Remember that your accounts are your digital identity, so you have to protect them. Even with a promise of a few thousand pesos, don't ever let someone use your personal account. So some examples. Some scammers will use your Facebook account to post listings and collect fake deposits. So when worst comes to worst, it's going to be your name attached to that Facebook account. You'll be blocked. You'll probably be blacklisted as well. And it will just affect your reputation in the long run. Some scammers will also run risky ads on your Facebook or your Instagram account, and your account could get banned forever. And another is some scammers will use your PayPal to process payments, and possibly identity theft. This is one of the real consequences that we've seen in the community. My Facebook got banned after letting someone post apartment listings. We lost years of business connections. So this one is very common than you think. Next is they ask you to create or rent them an Upwork account. So I've mentioned this earlier. This violates Upwork's terms and puts your entire freelancing future at risk. Not just on Upwork, actually, but all other platforms. Don't let someone use it, and don't use other people's accounts as well. You have to represent yourself properly. They ask for IDs or sensitive personal information before hiring. Now, it might be too early in the process. You're not hired yet. You're just going through initial application process, but you're already being asked for passports, identification, bank information. And unless you've been officially hired and you truly trust the client, never ever provide these documents or these pieces of information because they're personal and usually they can be taken against you. They will be used for something else, or that your information might be sold to another company, and before you know it, you will be receiving a bunch of like texts or messages telling you something. And worse, your personal information might be used for identity theft. This is a precaution. There might be some situations wherein you will be asked for an ID just to confirm your identity. And before doing this, make sure the company is legitimate. Next type of red flag is they send phishing emails pretending to be PayPal or job platforms. Always verify the sender's email address and make sure this is the official email address or the legitimate email address. How do you know this is official or legitimate? You'll have to do some digging and some research to find out which ones are legitimate, or you can cross-check it on the official app or the website. These are some phishing red flags: fake PayPal or platform emails, urgent requests for verification, and links that don't match official domains. A lot of you already know that you're not supposed to be clicking links or unusual links in any messages, text, or email. Even if you feel like you're sure about it, double check it. It's so much better to be careful, because once you click that link, a lot of things can happen and you can never get it back anymore. The next set of red flags has something to do with MLM scams, or multi-level networking, or affiliate marketing posing as VA jobs or any other type of jobs. If you're not familiar with MLM or multi-level marketing, I suggest you do a quick Google search about it. If you're familiar, then good, at least you can avoid it and you can make an informed decision. But if you're new, this is essentially recruiting others, and then out of recruiting others, you will gain payment or you will gain something from that. It's like a Ponzi scheme or like a pyramid scheme. There are several instances when curious and clueless job seekers online would attend like a webinar or a conference, thinking that it will lead them to the job that they're looking for, only to find out when they are already in that webinar or conference that they're actually being recruited for something else. So what usually happens is you will be asked to recruit people, and then when you get to recruit all those people, you get something in return. Most of the time, they promise monetary benefits, and if not, then something else. So those 3 people you recruited will also recruit another set of people, and then all of the benefits will go to you as the person who recruited essentially all of these people. So it becomes like a pyramiding scheme. I'm explaining this for the people who are not familiar with it, okay? For you who are familiar, then obviously you know what to do. There are also like typing jobs with vague or no job descriptions. They're going to pay you like a certain amount of money for a few hundred words or so, but there's really not a clear job definition or description for this. They will just tell you easy typing work, these are the deliverables, and then in the end, you will not get paid, or you will have to pay more to get more tasks. It's like paying upfront to get that job, which is not good. So if the job sounds super duper easy, but the pay promises a lot, then 99% scam. Next is the pressure on you to make quick decisions. So if you feel that that potential client is pressuring you to make a decision right away, then that might not be a good fit, because legitimate companies will really give you time to review the offer, sign the documents, think about it first, and make an informed decision. So to summarize, here are unrealistic promises and MLM disguises you should watch out for. Earn 50,000 pesos per month with 0 experience. Free MacBook and iPhone included. Do you want to earn more money while sitting at the comfort of your home? You just need 1 hour and you can earn 10,000 pesos. Another promise that is too good to be true that I've seen in the community is a potential client promising a visa so that you can work abroad. But what you don't know is that this visa may not be legit or may actually be illegal. It can be a tourist visa, but then you're being asked to work in their HQ or their office in another country. They might be legitimate in another country, but you are not supposed to work in another country without a work visa. So these types of like schemes or career directions are Not really good for you, obviously, because you can be a victim of human trafficking for all you know it. So be very careful about clients offering to bring you abroad. Check the visa because it might actually be a legitimate offer. And then again, I'm always telling you, do your due diligence. It has to be following the legal procedure of working outside the country. As a reality check, you have to remember that legitimate work from home jobs require skills, effort, and gradual increase of your income. It's not going to start right away as a 6-digit income, unless, of course, you already have a specialized experience outside of working from home and then you are transitioning and then you're offered a 6-digit job. That's also possible. But entry level beginner, you're not going to be offered that much right away. You will also still need to work hard, work smart to get to that point. Next red flag, fake tests, trainings, and essentially free work. So red flag is the unpaid sample work that's too much. A quick test is okay, but if they want you to complete a full task or project that will require your entire day, for example, it's likely going to be just free labor, and you don't want that. One tip for you, build your portfolio the best way you can because your portfolio will speak for you, and then you don't have to accept unpaid and unreasonable tests. The last red flag that I'm going to mention in this video is explicit, illegal, or sexual requests. Automatically a hard pass. If someone is asking for anything illegal or sexual in exchange for a job, block and report that person immediately. Legitimate employers will never ask you to compromise your dignity or break the law. Remember that. Let's wrap up this video by talking about the practical tips you need to remember to protect yourself from scams and red flags out there. The first one is grammar and email quality checked. Poor grammar, strange emojis, weird formatting, scam signs. Number 2, avoid platforms that rely on Telegram for interviews. Telegram has had a bad rap nowadays. I've actually used it before and a lot of times, but not for job interviews or anything else. But for social media and blog post syndication back when I was still very active in blogging. And right now, a lot of people use it to facilitate their scam tactics. I'm not saying that Telegram is bad, but unfortunately, it has gotten that kind of reputation. Most real companies, by the way, use official communication platforms like Slack, Teams, or at least Zoom or Skype. There are even companies that use WhatsApp and Viber. I've communicated with several legitimate clients that way. They're not always scammers. Again, go back to the main thing. Do your due diligence. Number 3, beware of high-paying jobs with low requirements because if this sounds too good to be true, and if it does sound to be too good to be true, it probably is. Number 4, research the company, which is what I'm always saying. Check their official website and LinkedIn presence. Also make sure that the recruiter's email matches the company domain. That's the least that you can do. There are also times when a recruiter might be using a different domain email, essentially because this recruiter maybe is part of an agency that does the headhunting or recruiting for a certain client. One thing's for sure, if this is a legitimate recruiter coming from a legitimate company, that person will highly likely never use a Gmail address or Yahoo address. Next thing is never share sensitive information through unsecured sites. You can look for https:// or the padlock icon in the browser to ensure that the website is secure. Next is trust your gut. Sometimes you just gotta do what we gotta do. If something feels off, then there must be something that's off. you can always ask around. You can ask forums, you can ask people who have already worked remotely, you can ask me, you can comment below what are some of the shady things or tactics you've encountered, and let's share that to the community. But the most important thing here is never ignore red flags just because you badly want or need a job right now. Like in the long run, you will still be at risk. Be cautious with cold emails. Scammers, sometimes they buy contact lists, and then sometimes it would just so happen that your contact information is in that list, especially if you filled out random forms online, which I think a lot of us have done back in the pandemic with all those sorts of forms, all our numbers and everything else. And last but not the least, invest in antivirus protection. There are still a lot of phishing links, scammers out there, and your laptop or your computer might be vulnerable for hacking, identity theft. So always protect yourself and your digital footprint. Building a legitimate remote work career takes time. If this video saved you from a potential scam, share this with the people who you think can benefit. Drop in the comments below your scam experience or anything shady that you've experienced, and let's discuss it.